We'll go ahead and we're going to get started now. We have an awesome meeting actually set up here. Although our guests are not actually here yet, this meeting is going to be sort of all about volunteers. We have two presentations after we do our normal reports. One from Danielle Paul, who's in the neighborhood. Many of you know Danielle, and she's going to talk about the Boys and Girls Club. And then Molly Lieberman from Loop It Up. And if you don't know Molly, she's one of my personal heroes in Savannah. She just does so much for the community, and she's just really great. And she's really good at talking about what she does, which is offering art classes for kids all around the city. In fact, last year they held classes for over 5,000 students. So what she does is really great. And their office is actually in the Edgemere neighborhood, just off the water. So she's going to be here hopefully as well. So we wanted to do, we talked about this, and we just want to do this really quick and apologize for the elementary school level nature of this idea, but we've been having some new residents coming in, moving into the neighborhood, and I think a lot of you have noticed that there's been a lot of houses for sale, a lot of new residents and everything. So what we thought we wanted to do is just make sure that those new people feel welcome into the neighborhood. So we wanted to start this meeting by actually going around the room and just introducing ourselves, and maybe just real quick say what street you're on. If you want to say another sentence or two as well, then you can go ahead and do that. So I'll start. I'm Rob Hessler. Obviously, I'm the co-chair of the Neighborhood Association. Khalif, the other co-chair, is not here tonight. He's out of town, and I live on 50th Street with this person.
Hi, my name is Gretchen. I am the social media coordinator, so if you message us anywhere online, you're probably getting through to me. I try to be readily available for anything you need. Always feel like you can reach out, and it will help in any way that I can. And again, on video.
I'm Devin. This is my other half, Harrison. I'm the secretary. Live at 48 Live Oak.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Nick Palumbo. I'm your neighbor next door over in Ardsley, and I'm over on 51st Street. And I'm a candidate to be your next alderman to the Savannah City Council.
Awesome.
I'm Harrison. I also live on 48. As Devin said. And yeah.
I'm Robin, and I live about 150 feet away from Harrison, Devin. My wife Odette. We're on 48 between Live Oak and Waters. And I guess by the standards of your introduction, we're longtime residents. We've been here 21 years in Parkside, 22 years maybe. So anyway, love it.
Love it.
I'm Matt Maselli. We live on 49th and Hickory. We just moved in.
All right, you're from us actually. Yeah, we're on 50th and Hickory.
So just moved in. I took a position with JCB, so moved to the area from Athens. And this is Lori.
Well, welcome y'all. We're so happy to have you.
Rachel, you want to give your name and?
Hi, I'm Rachel Green, and I live at 49th and Waters, 1109. I'm married to Harry DeLorme, and we've been there since 1990.
Chris and Mary, and we live on the corner of 48th and Live Oak, right across the street from these guys. From you. So, yeah. We moved here almost exactly a year ago.
I'm Todd. This is my husband Robert. We live in the 1200 block of 51st Street, the brick house with the bright green tin roof, and we've been here 14 years. I think. Yeah.
I'm Leslie with Carolyn. We also live on 51st, across the street from them. We've been here about 12 years.
Laura Seifert, also 51st. I live between these two guys. Representing my son Sebastian on the floor beneath me for some reason. I don't know why. He's had a very long day. Oh boy. We may leave early. Can I make my farm announcement now?
Yes. You want to go real quick? Why don't you make that?
Yeah. So I'm on the board of the Forsyth Farmers Market, and April 28th is our farm picnic. It is out near Bonaventure. There's a link on, it's super fun. It's a farm picnic. It's April 28th, $40, gets you food, good food,
the Gray and Atlantic and places like that donate the food. Live music, kids games. I'm working on perfecting my giant bubbles for the kids. We're test driving in the backyard. Like lots of fun kids games. Usually when the farmers is out with actual animals, and all the money goes to the farmers market. So there is a link on the Parkside open chat. Please use that link because there's a little friendly competition going on between board members. So that's my link. Can I get credit for those tickets, please? That's Team 51st because also Tuba over on 51st and Ardsley is we're teammates. We're Team 51.
Which park did you say it was?
It's for the it benefits the Forsyth Farmers Market, but it's held over at the old dairy farm. It's over near Bonaventure on Tennessee Avenue. Yeah.
Too new.
Yeah, you'll see the link and you can Charlie, you wanna?
Sure. I'm Sammy Friedman. I'm fairly new. I keep thinking 6 months, but it's 9. And I could have had a baby already. I've been in Savannah at 1207 East 50th, and I love it. I came from Vermont after 25 years, and I'm a New Orleanian by original stance, so I'm northern southern.
I'm Charlie Jordan. I live on the corner of 50th and Waters, first house. I've been here 4 years from San Francisco.
Sure.
I'm Mary Landers. My husband will be here later. He's Stuart Norman. We live in the 1200 block of 49, and we've been here since 1998. With a little library in front of our house.
Where did you come from?
Most directly from Missouri, but that's just where I was in school. I'm from Philadelphia and Stu's from Louisville.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how many northerners come south, and they keep coming to Savannah. It's interesting.
I'm Steve Merriman, and I'm the pastor of Parkside Worship Center, and live on 51st Street, 1300 block. Been there for 45 years, and I'm going to be here for 2 more months, and then we're going to be moving somewhere. My house is going under contract, and
we live near Parkside. We attend church here with Steve. I'm Jackie, and this is Linda. And as a service of Parkside Worship Center, if anybody would like prayer for anything after the meeting's over, we'd like to have that opportunity to bless you.
And Good Friday we're having healing and deliverance service. Don't know the time yet, but if you'd like to come, it'll be on the sign outside.
Thanks, Steve. And Danielle, did you want to introduce yourself? We already introduced it. You're going to
Hi, I'm Danielle Paul. I'm over on 52nd Street between Cedar and Ash. We've been here, my husband Adam and I have been here since 2013 and 14. And we came into Atlanta by way of New York. We just love Savannah. And as some of you know, most of you know, I'm also the chair of the Traffic Calming Committee for the City of Savannah, which was taken on because I made a big complaint and wrote a letter that that was well written, and they said, well, you can write a letter, maybe you can help us rewrite the policy for the city. So we've been working on that with the help of Julie and Carol and some other people, and obviously the awesome residents here in Parkside who helped. Really, it's taken a long time to do that, but really everybody's support here. We love living here. I feel like that Gretchen and Rob have really made this feel like a neighborhood for us, like a place that I can always reach out to somebody if I needed something. So I really appreciate that.
Hi, Alan. I'm the treasurer of Parkside Neighborhood Association. If you decide you'd like to join and pay dues, please see me. Also, I want to throw out that we're starting to take applications for our annual Treasure Day. It's going to be May 18th. It's a neighborhood yard sale. It's kind of fun. And if you're a member, it costs you $10. If you're a non-member, it costs you $15. You get a nice packet of promotional material, get balloons to put on your house. We advertise for the whole event. So if you're interested, you can see me. And when you become a member, you get wonderful PNA stickers.
like to just add on to, we've got something special this year planned for Treasure Day because of the fact that we were able to rename Brinkman to Brinkman DeLorme Park in honor of John, Harry's brother. We are going to be doing an art market during the Treasure Days as well. So we're going to invite artists in Parkside to set up tables and do their things. So that'll be a part of it as well. And it's kind of a nice introduction to the neighborhood. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we've already reached out to a few people and they've already
Not
been
just art,
excited.
but crafts as well.
Yeah, crafts as well.
So, or baking or whatever, so come on, let us know if you wanna do it, and, we'll get you set up.
Can you describe Treasure Day since I'm new? I really don't.
Treasure Day is a neighborhood yard sale. We advertise in local newspapers.
Every block, you mean?
It's,
Every block.
everybody in Parkside is welcome to park. You set up at your own house.
Wander.
And we make a treasure map where you do little things and you go from place to place.
And it attracts a lot of people,
Yes.
so be prepared for the neighborhood to be a little roomy that day.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's very
And
positive.
those fine folks in uniform do patrol the neighborhood on that day.
It's like
All right, so with that, we're going to move on to our agenda here, and we've got the fire department here. We always like to go with you guys first and get you, so you can get back to what you've got to do. So why don't you?
Since you guys don't have to turn around, I'll stand up here. Thank you for having us. My name's Captain McKenna from Engine 8. For people that are new to the neighborhood, if you come out here to the right, that's where our station is. We offer free blood pressure checks. And if you want to come up there, we can also help you set up an appointment to get your smoke detector changed out or batteries. As you know, we just changed the clocks back a couple weeks ago. That's when we ask people to come. Make an appointment if you need to. We can always change the batteries. We can change the smoke detector out themselves. Fire department has a couple of interesting things going on. We're in the process of hiring a new chief. This is the day 2 of the interviews. Hopefully we'll find out who the front runners are very soon. And we also have a rookie school going on. Different than any other rookie school, this is the first time we're offering EMT as part of the rookie class. So they spent 5 weeks taking EMT classes, and now they'll be testing this week. And then once they pass that, they'll move over to the fire side for another duration of about 8 weeks to 12 weeks. And then they will come on the floor and become part of the fire department. Really exciting. This was the first time we are venturing into the EMS realm. We like to be there first, we'll help everybody. Like I said, Station 8 is directly in the middle of this area. So if you guys have a problem, 911, we will be the first engine there. There's 4 of us on the machine, and we come ready to go. If anyone has any questions, I'm ready to answer them. Nothing, huh?
All right, well,
Not a problem.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And let's get to our office or what's his name? I know, but I know Sharif like what's his technical title? Sharif, what's your title now?
Neighborhood Resource Officer.
There you go. Okay, I was trying to get that. But we call him Sharif Lockett.
Well, I'm Sharif. I was hoping you were going to say hi, Sharif.
Hi, Sharif.
You prompted us, we will.
Well, now you know for next month.
We're all we have short memories.
I was about to say something, but I was just going to say clearly. That's all I was going to say. Sure, I'm just taking a pass over.
How'd you do this one?
Well, let's talk about it. So, first of all, I'm joined here by some guests, as you all see. So, since everyone else introduced themselves, I'm going to introduce them real quick. I wish the fire department would have introduced themselves because, police need heroes too. So we had APO Justin Gauze in the back. He is a public housing officer for our precinct. He's from Brooklyn, New York. We have Sergeant Mowers. he used to be my supervisor when I was still on the streets. I caused him a lot of paperwork and stuff like that. When I ripped off the side of the paddy wagon a few years ago, he's the one that wrote me up for it. So, and then when an officer got on the back of the paddy wagon when I was driving it and did like that, I thought he wanted me to drive away, so I did it like 40 miles an hour. He flew off and got hurt really bad. So Sergeant Mowers had to handle that too. We have Captain George Gundich, who all know.
Are you trying to inspire confidence?
I'm trying to inspire you. And then we have Lieutenant Raymond Reedus. Now, you all have not seen him yet. He was actually supposed to be at a few of the meetings that you all have had, like the multi-neighborhood meeting and all that, but he seems to get out of every single one of them. So I forced him to be here today. But he's the watch commander for the shift that's on now. So before we get going, I just have a funny call that one of your neighbors made yesterday. So I just wanted to tell you all about it because it's just so funny. So it says, complainant advised that a male across the street stole a pizza that she ordered on Friday, and she's standing by to make a police report. So the officer went out there, and she found out that Domino's refunded the lady the money and all that, because the guy, I mean, he took the pizza, but there was some discrepancy about the address. And I guess the lady used to date the guy anyways. So the officer said, well, you know, I mean, you got your money back. I'll go talk to the guy if you want me to, but she couldn't be in contact with the neighbor. So then the lady was like, I just don't feel like you're doing enough. I'll be contacting my attorney this week to speak with the chief of police about it. So I just thought that was pretty funny.
When not to call 911.
You can give us that for the next month.
Right.
Yeah, please keep us informed.
We're worried about it.
So I usually go across, of course, over the violent crimes and the property crimes in the neighborhood. So far this year, there's been 10 property crimes and 1 violent crime that have been reported within the neighborhood. Up to this point last year, there were 15 property crimes and 1 violent crime. So far y'all are on the downward trend, and hopefully it stays that way. But I will say this though, even though last year there were more reported incidents than 2017, there were a few of them that were like false reports, because there's a drug addict that lives in Parkside, unfortunately, that every time he lends his vehicle out to a crack dealer or something like that, they always usually end up getting in police chases, and then he reports it stolen after the vehicle's already been involved in a police chase. So there were 2 reported auto thefts that were made by him last year in y'all's neighborhood, and y'all took the hits for the auto thefts, even though when we did more digging, we're like, oh well, like a few hours earlier, it was involved in a police chase and stuff like that. So, and then also there was another one that he made where the vehicle crashed. I want to say on 48th Street somewhere, and then when the officers got there, there were like alcohol cans all in the car and all that. So I'm pretty sure it was a false report. So. All right, so some recent incidents within the neighborhood. On March 8th, there was an entering auto in Daphne Park. This individual went to Daphne Park to run around 6:30 in the morning, and he said someone approached him and asked him for money for food, and he said he didn't give him any. But he left his vehicle unlocked, and when he got back to the car, someone had stolen his wallet, and he believes that it was the guy that had asked him for food or for money. And then on March 19th, in the 1200 block of East 48th Street, this lady said that she was unloading groceries in her car, and that she accidentally left her keys in the car. So then the next morning, she came out and her vehicle was gone. But Sergeant Mowers actually got the vehicle a couple days ago. It was near the O'Reilly's auto parts store. So, and then if you'll see on the bottom, I have recent incidents within other neighborhoods. The only reason I put that there is because in another neighborhood, this guy was complaining that he didn't know what was going on in Savannah, and that he thought I should be the one to say it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. So over the St. Patrick's Day weekend, there was a homicide where a guy killed his mother, and he was arrested for it, and he was 17 years old. There was also another incident in Yamacraw Village where Captain Gunnich got involved, but they ended up getting the suspect. He had multiple warrants from our agency and all that. And then there were multiple purse snatchings and robberies throughout the city and county, where this guy was targeting lone females in parking lots of businesses and such. He would snatch their purses. He pushed a couple of them down, injured a few of them. He dragged one of them when she was holding on to the purse and he was driving away in his van. but he ended up getting captured on the south side, and his court date is tomorrow.
By
Fully-
Sharif.
Yeah, by me, so, yeah. Also, he had been, charged with robbery by someone snatching before in 2015. So, some people learn, some people don't. Recidivism is something else that, and then if you'll go to the back, of course, I have pretty much the same tips that I always have about locking car doors, recording serial numbers, don't leave vehicles unattended when they're warming up. I put to like us on Facebook for our precinct page if you have Facebook. And then the second page that I gave you all is for an Easter egg hunt that we have going on in April. It's going to be at the Nathaniel Green Park. Thank you very much, Nick, for letting us use the park, which I know it's not your doing. But they're going to have thousands of Easter eggs scattered. There's going to be a couple of golden Easter eggs, like a golden ticket from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And they'll have, they're trying to figure out what they're going to put in the golden eggs, like movie tickets, and they're just like good prizes. But the older kids are going to be separated from the younger kids. I was voluntold to go, but even if I wasn't voluntold, I would still be there anyways. But also on the same day, right before this, the Board of Education is putting another Easter egg hunt on in Daffin Park. I want to say it's going to be like 9 to 12. So, and then also, Lieutenant Reedus here was going through y'all's precinct, or not precinct, was going through y'all's neighborhood within the last week, checking, for unlocked cars, vehicles that had their lights on inside, people that looked like their doors were open. He was doing this at like 2 o'clock in the morning, waking everybody up. So I'll let him talk about it real quick. You just want to just say what you were doing.
Yeah, I was just going through the neighborhood, and I've been doing this, trying to do it as many times as I can through all the neighborhoods. But I came through the other night, and there were people that left their car windows down, people sitting in cars that were just sitting there. I mean, it ended up being a residence, but and so in the middle of the night, if you see bright lights around or hear somebody knock on your door, it may be me. Because I'm just trying to make sure that you guys, because I know we get in hurries and get in the house and to roll up windows and things like that. But I'd rather wake you up in the middle of the night than have your cars or something broken into. So if you don't want me to tell you, just tell me when I go up to the door and I won't pay you. But just trying to look out for you guys in the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Kat, did you want to say?
Just a couple quick things. I spoke at last meeting, we were gonna get sporadic a little bit on the walking beats because we were changing over to the 12-hour shifts. We just did that at the beginning of this month, so everybody's getting used to the new schedule. A lot of guys had to change their sleep habits and everything else. We've still been trying to get out there when we can. I hope you guys have still been seeing the horses. They were out today and actually got in, I think it was 50th Lane, around Hickory, stopped a subject looked suspicious, and sure enough, he had 4 burglary warrants that we had on him. So he was creeping around your neighborhood earlier today. So it doesn't matter day or night. Anytime we can get out on foot, get the horses out there, we're making some good impacts, and he was definitely one we had to get out of there. So that was a good pick by them today. So we're gonna keep that going. The hopes is as we get more people released on the street, build up the shifts, I wanna make a permanent unit of at least 2 people who do nothing but neighborhood patrol. So they'll be out there always walking, always dealing with one neighborhood at a time. And that way it's something you get to see every day. Like I said, right now it's a little sporadic. Once we get our, St. Patrick's Day over, thank God, get the 12-hour shifts under control, we'll start seeing it like we were doing before.
Awesome. There was something I just thought of too real quick that I just wanted to mention. So for those of you who like our precinct page on Facebook, I just wanted to remind everyone that it's not something that we're dispatched from, because someone messaged it on Friday saying that Christopher Alexi, the individual that is suspected of doing a couple of autos and such in the neighborhood, they messaged the Facebook page saying that he was in the neighborhood and that he had just walked up to someone's door at Cedar and 49th. But I didn't see it until about 4 days later. So I just wanted to remind everyone that if y'all see someone suspicious or anything, make sure you call 911, because the Facebook page is not monitored at all times. Go ahead.
He came by to see me, and what he told me was that his uncle wants to straighten him out, and he's gone to Virginia for a few weeks to work for his uncle who's in construction, and he wants to help him with a place to live and just get on the right track, so I hope that's true.
Yeah, it probably isn't. As far as I know, he's got, I think he has at least 2 warrants for his arrest. I know one of them is a Superior Court warrant, and one of them is at least a false name warrant. I think he has a burglary warrant too.
I bet he comes back with some nice power tools
Yeah.
to wall the whole deal.
So if y'all see, make sure y'all call it.
Oh, one other thing you guys will see, this Friday,
Oh, I know.
we were doing the, city litter cleanup a few weeks ago, but it got rained out. And they're doing it again this Friday. Now, they had us up there, at least the cops, because we're expendable on the Truman. And not the safest area to do it, so they were looking for some ideas, so I brought up that we could do it out here, so we're gonna start at Daphne Park. And then we're just gonna move south from here, so we're gonna go through here, through Edgemere, and all the help that we had for the Truman is gonna help with the cleanup through these 2 neighborhoods.
And that's this Friday?
Yes,
What time do you do it?
it starts at 7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll probably see a little bit of presence. We'll all be in our shiny little vests, but yeah, some of us not do. Probably won't be in uniforms. It's not very easy to do this stuff. You know,
I'll be in a tank top so I can show
I have a completely unrelated help me question. I think the 2 trees in front of my house are dead. So what do I do? They look like oaks, they're not coming back. They have no leaves, they look like something up north.
All right,
They're
well,
on your
we've
city.
got him actually next on the agenda, so why don't we just finish up? Does anybody have any questions for the captain or Sharif?
I have one question. I'm Robert Dunn, and Captain, I think I met you one night outside my driveway.
Yeah.
While you were walking off dinner and I was going to Dairy Queen. But I was reading, I can't recall if it was last month or the month prior, the report statistically on, the decrease of crime over the years and some of the different, offenses that have occurred and the pattern that's happening. One of the things that, while everything looked really great and going in the right direction, one thing that struck me odd or inquisitive about was the firearms that are stolen. And so many of them stolen out of vehicles, and then a large majority of those out of unlocked vehicles. So my question is, just curiosity, is as a gun owner who leaves my gun in the car, unlocked, unsecured, am I hypothetically, am I accountable or responsible for negligence or any type of fine?
Morally and ethically, yes. But as far as charges, we do have charges, like if you leave your car running, if people steal it, there's a charge for that. But leaving your gun unattended in the car is not a crime in itself. But you've got to think about the repercussions that can happen when those guns are stolen, what they're going to be used for. We recover a lot of these guns stolen from these cars in shootings, in robberies, and that's why we keep trying to put this message out. We've talked at this meeting before about it too. And we're talking, it's not just somebody forgetting a small handgun. We've had people at Lake Merrilee, AR-15s, assault rifles in unlocked cars so they can go running, and they wonder why somebody would take the gun out of their car. We don't live in a perfect society, and if we keep arming the suspects, we're getting a good majority of guns off the street every day, every week. What we don't want them is getting rearmed.
Right.
So this is one of those moral dilemmas that people got to take in their head when they do something like this. We understand when people have had their windows broken and they say, I don't lock my car because I don't want my window broken again. Then very simply take the things you don't want to lose and put into the hands of other people with you. Because there are way too many guns. I think every month we have 3 or 4 from all unlocked cars. And that's what these guys are looking for. And once you kind of bait a field and they know where to go to find neighborhoods that are doing this, they'll keep coming back and they'll push it further, and the next thing you know, they're breaking into houses. Tell the same thing to people too. If you've got guns in your house, don't keep them in plain view. Having a nice, gun closet there or a cabinet, right in the middle of the living room, well, everybody can see it from outside too. That just makes you a target. Gun ownership it's one of those things you've got to take it as a privilege, not just a right, and realize that you got to make it safe and make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
So hypothetically, if he owned the gun and it got stolen and he neglected to lock it up and he left it in his car, and then that gun got recovered in a crime of which somebody was injured, would he be held responsible?
No, only if you could prove, there's a thing called straw purchase, because you do have, a lot of people will get guns, like we just had the gun show in town, and we do investigations called, straw purchases investigations, and that's where you have people going there buying guns because the person they want to give it to can't. So if you knowingly sell a gun or give a gun to a felon, then you can be charged. But just leaving it in the car or losing your gun and a crime happens with it, it's something you'll have to live with, but it's nothing that we're doing criminally against.
Okay.
There's two things too, real quick, I'm gonna follow up on just for a second. As far as leaving cars running and unattended, there actually used to be a charge where we could cite the people or give them a fine or even arrest them for that, but there were so many people getting citations for it and making complaints that the Georgia Supreme Court actually repealed that.
Thanks for
so that's that. And the second thing was, in reference to leaving vehicles and cars anyways, this is just my personal professional opinion about it. There is no reason to, because if someone is breaking into your house and you need to get your gun, the person breaking in isn't gonna say, hold on, let's get a timeout for a second. And
I got
let
you
go
in
into
the
your
car.
car and do it. You know what I'm saying? So, also too, and if you're driving and you need it, every time I'm driving, when I'm not working, I always have a firearm on me, but I have, my shirt over and all that, and you wanna be able to see it, cause I have a very small firearm that barely fits in the palm of my hand. But again, if you're driving, you get caught at a red light, and someone like tries to rob you, they're not gonna give you a second to like reach over into your, glove box or something, So, but that's just, that's just my.
If it's on your person, you'll remember to pick it up.
Right, exactly.
The fact is, if you've got 100 guns, if you can't get your hands on it, it ain't no good to you.
All right, well, we're gonna have to move on to our next guest. Thank you so much. Let's, as I just mentioned, we've got Officer Gary Brownstein here from, is it Code Compliance? Code Compliance, okay. So you wanna?
Hi, my name is Officer Gary Brownstein. I'm with the City Savannah Code Compliance Department. And sorry, my voice is not very loud, so let me know if I'm not speaking loudly. Anyway, we basically enforce the city ordinances of the City of Savannah, mainly having to do with property maintenance and zoning. And so if you see anything, she just mentioned some dead trees, possibly in like the tree lawn or on city property, you can always call 311 for any problems or questions. If it has to do with their property maintenance, or zoning, it will come to me, and so I will come out there and inspect. That's the main, we do patrol, but there's very few of us, and there's lots of neighborhoods that we deal with. So the majority of our cases we actually get by 311. So that's how we look around to see what's going on. So if you see derelict vehicles, if you see problems with them, houses that are falling apart, just property maintenance issues, give us a call. In this neighborhood, usually there's not a whole lot. It's a pretty good neighborhood. It's one of the best neighborhoods, actually. And the only thing, the issue we had in the last few months was one of the properties. It was 1108 East 48th Street, and we actually had to condemn the house. We put a condemn sign on it because it was open and unsecured. And then when we inspected, we found a bunch of other housing code violations. And we talked with the owner, and we actually had him come to the office. We issued him a court summons. He did fix everything, so he is in compliance now. It looks a lot better. He put a new roof on it. He painted it. But it's not perfect, but it's in compliance. So that's all we can hope for, I guess. And that is really it. Just it's starting to get warmer. Keep your grass mowed. If you have garbage carts, if you don't have them in the lane, if you actually put them on the street and bring them back in after they pick up your garbage. Bulk items, they will put it. You can put that out where you put your garbage cart, and they should pick it up that same week. That's really it. If you have any problems, as I said, call 311. And if you have any questions, yes, sir.
So I hired a tree guy to come and cut the crepe myrtle on both sides of my house, and he told me that the city didn't allow them to chop them. So I did a 311, and I was told that in Parkside in July, the city's gonna come through and I guess do all the crepe myrtles that are in that little, area between the curb and.
Shade line.
So that's your tree lawn? Yeah, the tree lawn is, that is the
So I
same.
mean, the companies, they won't let you top them.
No, in the tree lawn, all the trees are the city's responsibility. The grass and the mulch and everything else, keeping it maintained is the homeowner's responsibility. But yeah, the trees, the city has to do it technically. If you trim it, even trimming some branches off, technically you get cited for that. So yeah, the city is supposed to take care of that.
Since I didn't see the city, I was going.
Right. Supposedly the city is supposed to take care of it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
All right, any other questions for Gary?
I have one question about the trees in the tree lawn. If you don't want your crepe myrtle, or not mine, I guess it's the city's crepe myrtle,
Right.
chopped down, because I don't like when they do that.
I don't, you would have to talk with the city arborists, yeah, that is, they do what they do. I mean, it is the city that they are, it is in the ordinance that they are responsible for the trees, so technically, I guess they can, I mean, you would have to talk with them, that's.
They chop them down.
In the tree lawn. That's between the street and the.
At my part of the street on East 50th, everybody's got wonderful tall trees, except 2 or 3 houses, mine and across, and maybe 1 or 2. So there's this clump where we're kind of bare. And if one wants to switch to, if you plant for me, say my trees are dead, and you come and you give me 2 baby oaks, can I supplement and say, can I help you pay for bigger oaks?
You can get permission, I mean, you have to get approval for the trees that you would plant there, but yes, you can call them,
And say I'd
call
like-
311, they should transfer you, or you can look up the city arborist, and they will tell you,
I feel
greenscape,
really cheated.
greenscapes. They can tell you what trees you are allowed to plant, and if you can plant them yourself, or if they have to.
Okay.
I'm sorry, one last thing. There's a big hole on Water Street. It's getting on my nerves, between 50th and 49th. Every trailer that comes through pops up, but it's now getting bigger.
Call 311, and tell them about it. They should send it to Streetscapes, and it should be, they should record it in. They should put a work order in.
It's between what 2 streets?
Between 50th and 49th, heading towards Victory. And it's now got, it's a hole.
All right, well, Gary, thank you so much. We always appreciate you. And I think I see Darlene back there. So Darlene Jackson is here. She's, the title changes a lot, but she's the person who helps us with things.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Okay, I just want to make mention of one thing. So I help with everything, huh? Okay, I'll take it. Okay, I'm the outreach coordinator for this area and several areas. So I just want to mention one thing in particular, and I'm sure that many of you have been online to check out the alcohol ordinance survey, right? Have you? If you have not, let me tell you a little bit about it. There have been a few extended days up until Tuesday of this week, Wednesday morning, where you can go online. There have been some changes in the ordinance for the alcohol license, and I would encourage everyone to go online to do the survey. This is a hard copy. I have about 10 hard copies if you are a person who likes hard copies, and if you want to take a look at it, please do so. There have been a couple of concerns about it, and that's fine, okay? So I would encourage you, at the bottom, there is a number, 651-656530, and you will be in touch with Bridget Liddy, who is the who is the zoning administrator, who can give you more information if you have other concerns. But within the survey, there is a comment area. So you can just really go at it of anything that you have questions about what it's about. I won't even go there. I may give you ideas that as an employee, I should not do that. And I see 2 older persons here, and they will probably get me for doing that. So if you have any concerns, please go in those areas and make your comments. but this will give you an opportunity. So let me just throw out a couple of questions that will be on the survey. For instance, and they said, do you feel as though there should be a distance requirement between convenience stores? And you have an opportunity. Those are questions like open-ended questions of such. One question that a lot of folks say, oh, I don't know what that means. But then you'll have an opportunity to say, I don't know what that means in the comment area. If you don't know what a particular zoning area means, then you need to put that on the survey saying, I don't understand that, so that they can go back. But what this is just to give a general synopsis, an idea of where we are, so that we can know that we're hitting those dots on regarding the alcohol license or alcohol ordinance that is, okay? So if you want to go, savannahga.gov/alcohol, okay? All right, that's pretty much all on that, but I do have 5 hard copies or 10 hard copies for anyone who would like to have one, so that you can do that.
Can you actually just put them with the handouts
I'll do
down
that.
there?
I sure will.
If you want to add your email to the sign-in sheet, I will update our mailing list and I will send that link out as well, but just make it legible for me.
Okay, all right. So we do have a few extra days. It was closed last week, but they've opened it back up. So please go in there immediately and do that. Okay, and maybe one more thing. The LEAP program was a response last week to the Civic Center. There, LEAP, standing for it is a response to what seniors, anyone 55 and above. I have joined that group as of March the 6th. I can't believe that. But anyhow, I am a part of that. So seniors don't want what they used to want years ago, right? They want some really exciting things. And this is what the LEAP program is. It is to really address other things that seniors would like to do in the city of Savannah. So that's what the program is about. So please go online. When you go to the SavannahGA.gov, there's a whole lot of good things in there to address concerns and things that you really want to know about. I encourage everyone to please do that. And also, coming up, one more thing that in the last couple of meetings back, someone mentioned, what are our youth doing in Savannah, and how we're addressing things with our youth? Well, we know that Summer 500 is coming up, and also I want to mention that the Savannah Youth Ambassador Program is online for those young people who are rising high schoolers in your area who are interested in leadership development and personal social civic development, and now another layer of professional development. Please go online, look that up, Savannah Youth Ambassadors. So it's a lot of great things that's happening. And then for those 8th graders, Savannah Youth Council. So we have a lot of dynamic things that's happening in the city of Savannah that we are trying to at least address with our young people. I encourage you to do that. If you need to reach out to me, these good folks know how to tell you how to get in touch with me. I'm Darlene, okay? Thank you.
I just really wanted to quickly we've got Alderman Miller here and Alderwoman Bell are in house. Did you have anything that you want to say, Julian?
No, I'm just listening tonight.
Okay, one thing we've been trying to get, yeah, go ahead.
I'm not bashful. Darlene mentioned Summer 500, and thank you, but the deadline for student applying is coming up this weekend, Sunday, March 31st. So I don't realize, as I look around, I see one child. Most of you may have grandchildren or some of the parishioners here in church or neighbors or family members who are juniors or seniors in high school, any high school, homeschool, fall between the ages of 16 and 19. This is an opportune time. This is our 4th year of finally placing students, juniors and seniors in high school, placing them in a job that pays $8 per hour. Not only do they learn skill sets, and most of them are in the private sector, not only do they learn skill sets, but they also get a week of soft skills training. So it's very valuable, something helps to start their resume. And I would tell you too, again, looking back for your on your family members and friends and relatives who do have students in the age brackets that she refers, the youth ambassadorship, I think she supervises.
Yes, Savannah Youth
The
Ambassadors.
Savannah Youth Ambassadors, I've seen them, did I see them in DC? Oh,
We have
Atlanta.
no, we were in Atlanta.
Atlanta, I know I saw them somewhere I was. So it's a good program. We're trying to find and continue constructive things for our students during the summer, keeping them out of trouble, constructive activities. So that's what this council, all of my colleague over here, Julia, that's what we have been about, over the past 3 years. So please take advantage of it.
Real quick, let me just ask something. Alderwoman Bell, the 500 program has been great. Where, if people are interested in it, what's like, is there a website or?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
I am so sorry. Just as she's, announced, www.savannahga.gov/summer500.
Okay,
So
great.
there's a link for students that can apply online. The requirements are simple, no minimum grade point average, you must be between 16 and 19. You have to pass a drug test, but the kids are accustomed to that by now. In fact, this year, we're taking the drug test into the schools, to the high schools, we're doing it right now on the school campuses. And I'm about, Darlene said she just turned 55, but I won't tell you what I turned, but I'm about legacy building, and I love to hear people talk about 311, because before I became a councilwoman, I was an employee, so that was my legacy, that's what I left for the city, 311.
Rob, can I mention?
Yeah,
She
sure.
doesn't take credit for it, but she has been the quarterback for that entire thing. The Summer 500 program is totally self-sufficient, it pays for itself, that's not your tax money, that's the businesses paying for it, because that's what she set it up.
Yeah, it's a terrific program, and we'll make sure to post that up on our Parkside Open Chat page as well. We did have one question, since both of you are here, we have a good opportunity to speak with both of you. Just for the rest of you who may or may not know this, but Alderman Miller thought it was best that the Conservation District be postponed a month. We had a hearing on February 28th. There is going to be now back on the agenda this Thursday, that's in 2 days. I appreciate Carol Bell voting in favor of us having it passed last month. So Gretchen has been taking the lead on sort of following up with all this, and because of the way that the rules work with City Council, because I spoke at that meeting, I will not be allowed to speak at the March 28th meeting. So Gretchen is going to be speaking. So she had some questions, and I hope maybe the two of you can answer.
Well, I guess one thing that we should actually just bring up the conservation overlay. We've tried to do a lot of outreach via Facebook, Twitter, Nextdoor, our email newsletter, agendas at the doors, and basically the conservation overlay makes it so for certain houses meeting certain criteria, there's not an automatic tear down permit issued. There's a review process. The tear down permit, it doesn't apply to you if you're doing any sort of remodeling, if you're building on additions. It's only if you're gonna destroy 51% or more of your house. So I've sent out links for what the ordinance says. I've sent out the link to the YouTube video that Ellen Harris was here to go over things. We have copies of it here as well. So I'm assuming everyone here got the flyer at the door. Did anyone, and as well, we all received the letters twice now. Did anyone have any questions about it? Okay, so, all right.
So then how does it look? How does Thursday look? Because we were a little surprised, I think, last month that it was delayed. So can you give us any insight on that? Have we, are we?
I can't see any objection coming up. The people who asked to be informed have not responded, so apparently they're happy with what information was provided. I don't see any reason that it won't pass.
Okay, and since it was kind of sprung on us after sitting in the meeting for so long, is it possible that you might find out day of, or when did you find out, when did you know you were gonna delay it?
When it
got on the agenda and people had mentioned it to me, which is probably about the Friday before the Thursday meeting.
Okay, so, cause you saw us that Tuesday, and you didn't let us know that it'd be delayed, so will you call and let me know if there's gonna be any problems?
Yeah, I'll be glad to. I don't see a problem coming up.
Okay, great, thank you.
So, just out of curiosity, who were people?
But there were several people who mentioned to me that they don't know exactly what the overlay district was and why it was there. And in any group, there's always gonna be somebody who disagrees. And they said, you have not provided us with information. So we, the city sent out a little bit more detailed information. It said there will be a hearing on 28th and explain before a notice had been sent out saying that an overlay district was being considered, but it didn't say what overlay district is. And that was the question. So the idea was, or the movement was to, all right, let's delay it until we can send this letter out. So everybody now has gotten the information. They can't say, I don't know anything about it, which happens a lot. Communication is pretty difficult.
Well, yeah, and to your point, I mean, you say people brought it to your attention, people's pretty generic. And when asked, you know, is there any potential opportunity of delaying it again, you indicate you don't foresee a reason that it would be delayed because no one has responded of any concern. Would it be beneficial to reach out and to make sure that those people who had concerns to begin with are now satisfied? They clearly got the information and they're ready.
When I talked with them the first time, I said we would be trying to get this out. And if you got any concerns, then contact me. They haven't contacted me.
So you're going by no news is good news?
Well, I'm going by the fact that we now have provided the information. This was sent to every property owner in that district. So nobody can say, nobody talked to me about this, nobody advised me about this, I don't know anything about it, which usually is what happens in every situation. Now we're past that.
And just so everyone knows, the council, we did reach out to Alderman Miller to try to find out if we could get the contact information to have any one of our 9 association members go talk to them and get them all filled in, and he did not want to give us that information. He said that we are heavy-handed and that they didn't want to be contacted. So we really attempted to get out the word to them. And so if you know anyone who has any questions, please call me. I'm so happy to help. I love doing this stuff, so I'm there for anyone who needs me.
Absolutely. Everybody should know there's been, what, 51 attempts now?
Actually, I've been putting together a full list, and there's been over 60 attempts to get the information out to residents.
So there's been 60 attempts through social media, through mailings, through meetings here, and all of that. So I don't know if there's ever been anything that more information has been put out, ever. Maybe actually, Carol, you've been in the city for a long time, so maybe you would know.
I just wanted to say, first let me say something, that is not directly related to what but somewhat related. As I sat back here, because most of you know that I'm at large, so I travel I travel through various sections of the city. And I really get somewhat excited and complimentary, when I come to meetings like this, because it's obvious that you're concerned about your community. It's obvious that you want to improve the quality of life in your community. It's obvious that you have a good relationship with city staff. And I want to applaud them personally. The police department, I don't know about you all, but they make my life really good because if I travel around the city, they work hard in doing what they do. And they take delight in clearing cases, and I mean, just the attitude. I don't know how they could have that kind of attitude considering the work that they do. Having said all that, I also want you all to realize, I know that we're not perfect as a body, a group of 9. In fact, somebody said if there are 146,000 people in this city, maybe 140,000 who think they can do this job better than me. Okay. But the real deal is that, you know what, we are very, very concerned about all of our communities. And trust me, the district alderman, sometimes the district alderman, not just this district alderman, and I may disagree on occasions, but the real deal is that the district alderman is much closer to the needs and the issues in the community than I am. So if the district alderman feels a certain way, whether or not the others of us feel that certain way, it doesn't mean that we have to fall out over that. So I know it was frustrating sitting last time, but I can agree with Julian. I would almost bet my meager paycheck that I'm gonna get on Thursday that it's gonna pass this time. I mean, the city has an obligation. You might say, well, we did everything that we could. But for that vocal minority that say, I didn't know, that vocal minority can oft-time, and it has been shown, can oft-time cause us so much grief. So sometimes the city has to take that, city staff has to take that extra step just to make sure we cover bases. And I'm sorry.
Sure. No.
I apologize.
My thing was, we were not contacted to let us know that there would be a delay. When things are removed from the agenda, it's usually announced beforehand. And Alderman Miller could have contacted me to ask what we had done.
Okay, but then would you promise that you've heard that? I don't need you. You've heard that, and he's heard that, so I promise you, next time, he will do better than that, because I think we all heard that.
Yeah.
I'm a preacher too, Pastor.
Well, I'm preaching, we've heard that before too, Ms. Bell.
Yeah, I mean.
But have you heard it from me?
Ms. Bell?
Have you heard it from me?
Bell? I'm just telling you what's back,
Uh-huh.
alright?
Okay.
So, agree.
Okay.
I appreciate your comments. And
Okay.
I appreciate your thought process.
Okay.
But I think clearly, I mean, there's a difference. And appreciate your comments, and I'm sure you appreciate our position.
I do.
Right.
I do. And again, as an at-large alderman, if I can do anything to support processes like these in the future, I will promise you that I will work with them.
Okay, so if we make that deal, I think that sounds great. How about in return, the next time a group of us go to city council to oppose a large development project, that you side with the vocal minority then and delay their project? Because as individuals, when we stood up there, let me just finish. But now, as individuals, we came up there, we had a 60 plus outreaches to people. We had vast community support. We'd spent 8+ months on it, and then some ambiguous, unnamed people apparently said something, and we are asked to come back. We're not lawyers, we're individual residents that had to take time off of work to go and do that, and we lost money by having to go do that for something which was universally supported in meeting after meeting after meeting. So I am happy to totally agree with that point, if you will in turn agree that the next time that we go and ask for you to not support the storage facility that's going up behind Whole Foods, which by the way, does not look anything like the plans that were shown, or when we go up there and we ask to not have Johnny Harris knocked down,
Or to postpone and give
or to
some time.
postpone and to
Right.
give us some time, that you do the same for us, because that's where the frustration lies. Not that you asked us to come back, that we as citizens were treated differently than developers with money. Okay? Does that sound like a fair deal?
It sounds like a fair deal only if you will agree, only if you will recognize that there's only so much, and I don't mind working with you. I mean, not at all. But there is only so much that I can do when the private sector is involved. And I heard the example, tearing down Johnny Harris. The real deal, guys, is that the city didn't own Johnny Harris.
In all these cases, the city had to give up something. You had leverage, as city council, you had leverage with Munster Street, you had leverage in many different ways, like zoning on the multi-storage storage building. They were asking something from you all. And that's the point that's so frustrating, is you have a chance to sit down and say, let's make this better for everybody. If they could build by right, then they could build by right. But they're asking you.
I would be happy to have that conversation with you prior to those kinds of acts occurring. And I would be happy to make sure that I present that case to not only to the council, but to the developers as well. So if you want me to participate in those discussions.
We're not communicating emails.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's.
I'm sorry, I missed the comment.
No, that's something else entirely. But thank you, Carol Bell. We really appreciate you coming here today and for listening to our concerns. So we've gone a little late, but we do have really a couple of great and positive things to discuss right now. And Darlene Jackson, we're not gonna hold you here, but she was talking, and Alderwoman Bell as well, we're talking about youth programs, and we have two speakers here tonight that are here specifically to talk about youth programs. So, oh, you don't have to, you just had your birthday, you can go home and relax.
That was the 6th, that was March 6th, I'm good.
I know, it's all month.
Daniel, do you mind if we start with our out of neighborhood guest here? All right, so this is Molly Lieberman, and why don't you tell us what you're here for?
Absolutely. So now I'm gonna take you up on it. This is my second side.
Sure.
Bye, so I'm Molly. Nice to meet you all. I apologize for being late. I have to tell you this. I suffered a finger injury on the way over, but thankfully the fire department is I'm the executive director of Loop It Up Savannah, and we're a youth arts and enrichment nonprofit that began as a very small children's knitting and crochet class at the West Broad Street YMCA back in 2008. Since then, we've grown and grown, and in 2015, we became an independent nonprofit, and we're currently based right up the road from y'all on 59th and Waters in the Edgemere neighborhood. And so what we do is we bring art to all of the Title I schools in the form of after-school programs, as well as school residency programs that happen during the school day. We also work with many community centers around the city and partner with as many nonprofits as we can. We've worked with Frank Allen lots in the past. And we just really make it our business to bring positive things to youth in Savannah. I think we sometimes get drowned both in our thoughts but also in reality and the negative things that are going on, the trauma that we carry around with us based on the violence that we've experienced around us over time. And there's proactive things we can do to work on that, but it's also really important to make sure that we have other things going on that are as consistent and believable as the negative things. So that's what we make it our business to do, and we're always looking for volunteers. Officer Lockett mentioned the young man that unfortunately had murdered his mother last weekend, and that actually is one of my students from years ago when he was a young kid. And I don't bring that up in terms of shock value, but really just to let you know, like, these are our children. These are our children that have parents who love them. There are countless adults in their lives that have been working with them for years, and there's always more that we can be doing. And I just want to extend an open invitation to everybody to come in and volunteer with us in the schools. We're there literally every day, any free time that you may ever have. You probably have a program going on someplace. And it's just a great opportunity to share things that you love and that have filled your life with meaning with young people in Savannah. So I just want to extend an open invitation to everybody. Always feel free to get in touch. We work a lot with Juliet Lowe Elementary, which is close to your neighborhood. There's a lot of wonderful volunteer opportunities there. Same with Schumann, which is close by. So really feel free to reach out and get involved if there's any interest in that. And also we have a building in the neighborhood. So if people are interested in doing activities that are youth-based there, or working with us on activities that we're running in the Edgemere neighborhood, we can always use more folks to get involved with that. So that's just nutshell version of Loop It Up. Also, this Saturday, we're having our annual fundraiser, which is called Soup It Up for Loop It Up, and y'all are invited. I got to talk with Rob on the radio show last week about it. It's a soup contest with 7 local restaurants that, when the funds raised, benefit all of the programs that we do throughout the state.
Well, tell them what the awards are called.
Oh
because
yeah,
they're
the
funniest
best part.
things ever.
So the top soup, as decided by the celebrity judges, is called the Golden Soup Bowl, and it is literally a paper mache trophy, which will be made tomorrow afternoon at Brock Elementary in West Savannah. And it's painted in gold and covered with jewels and glitter and all of that stuff. So we have the Golden Soup Bowl for the best soup. We have the Platinum Ladle for the restaurant team that raises the most money for the organization. And then we have the People's Choice, which of course is dependent on the guests' preference in the soups. So we hope that you'll come out.
Well, let's pass these cards around here so that way everybody
Pass these
can.
out. It's at Knights of Columbus on Saturday night, the one on Liberty Street above Mellow Mushroom on Saturday night at 7 p.m. So we hope to see you there. Does anyone have questions or anything?
So literally, anytime anyone has any skill, anything, they can just come and help you out.
Absolutely.
Any day, pretty
Yes,
much.
and you don't have to be an artist. We also have a youth yoga program, so if there's anyone that does yoga in here, we have a kids cooking class, and it's really just a way to share things that adults love to do with kids and just pour in that positive stuff and kind of expand the reality that kids experience in our city.
And Molly, if people want to get a hold of you or want to get a hold of Loop It Up, how can they do that? Or they want to donate?
Sure. So on the card is our website. I think also a phone number is on there, but our website is loopitupsavannah.com. It's very easy to navigate. Also on Facebook, you probably have seen me on Facebook talking about, who wants to teach a cooking class or who has yarn to donate or something like that. So Loop It Up Savannah on Facebook is an easy way to get a hold of us as well. And of course, y'all have my contact information.
And real quick, you just mentioned donations. So what kind of things are you looking for donations as well? If there's
Absolutely. So pretty much any art supplies we can use.
Actually, this was donated
Oh,
to you earlier today from Connie.
Thank you. This is exciting. So we go through canvases and paint really, really fast because we work with about 5,000 students every single year. So that's a lot of stuff that we use. So really any art supplies that you have. Certainly like yoga mats, because we did just start a youth yoga program last summer. We're working on bringing that to all of the elementary schools we work with now. And then just if you follow our Facebook page, I always post when we're doing specific projects. So if we're doing a cooking class and we need this list of ingredients, I'll share things like that with the community to make it really easy to pitch in something that you may literally have around the house. And then of course, any financial donations are also appreciated because we work with a lot of little cute people, and it goes a really long way. Small donations go a long way when you're running a small nonprofit with a very wide footprint. So that's our few-minute story. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Molly. And to keep our trend of talking about ways that we can help our local youth, Danielle Paul here is to talk about the Boys and Girls Club. So.
Okay, so again, I'm Danielle Paul, resident here, and I'm also the development director at the Franktown Boys and Girls Club. And so I'm gonna try and make it quick. I know that we were a little bit over on time, but so in our club, we're over on Charlton Street in the Historic District. And inside of our club, our maximum capacity with staff and kids is 224. And that's not a lot, but it is. And that's not including the kids that we have out in the fields. There's another 100 or so out in the field doing cheerleading, doing other programming throughout the city. And we also have our summer camp program. And so throughout the course of the year, we serve over 1,000 different kids in Savannah throughout those programs inside the building. But I always like to tell you that we have a core group of kids. Molly and I trade kids sometimes. The kids that I see every day are approximately 120 to 180 kids that are, when we say, core group, they're there 3 to 5 days a week. Most of them are 5 days a week. And that's an after school program. And the little guys, 12 and under, leave at 7 o'clock. Because it's a really long day for them if you think about it. That they get up at 6, they go to school. We feed them. They get a hot meal every single day. So a lot of these are kids who are mostly living in poverty, okay? And no matter, how much Molly and I do or anybody else does, you have to remember that 80% of the kids in poverty, unless we keep them with us through high school, they won't make it. They'll end up in the prison system pretty quickly. If they're not reading by 3rd grade, most of them will end up in the prison system. And that's the statistics that are really sad. So aside from financial donations, which we can always use, I say, if you're not a doer, be a check writer. And it's true. Some people are doers and some people are check writers. If you want to do both, great. But don't feel bad if you don't have the time to dedicate to our programs. I mean, I can speak for Molly and myself here. You know, financial assistance, again, it could be $10 a month. I mean, it means a lot, it adds up. You know, every dime keeps our lights on, keeps these kids fed, keeps them with us. I want them with us throughout high school so that they're not out in the streets, okay? It's so vitally important, and I think the story I want to tell you really is about our summer camp program. So the summer camp program is really for 5-year-olds to 12-year-olds because we max out, right? It's so full. It's only $175 for 10 weeks, and we scholarship a lot of that through donations from people like you, okay? So that a kid who's in a family of 5, you know, that mother can't afford to pay for all those kids. So we try and scholarship as many of those kids as possible. So that being said, where do the teens go, right? You know, so our teens that are usually there until 9 o'clock at night during the school year, they make a choice to come in and volunteer in the summer, okay? I'm so proud of our teens for doing this. They do not have to be there. They would rather be with us because they don't have anywhere to go and hanging out with the 5-year-olds, sweeping floors, whatever we have them do, keeping them busy, than being out in the streets by themselves. They don't want to be by themselves, but if they are left by themselves, then that's when things start to go wrong, right? But I'm really proud of them. I'm always surprised, like, you know, and I don't know why it's been 5 years, I see it all the time, that, you know, I walk in the door at summer camp and there's all of our teens, you know, most of them, they don't have to be there at all. Some of them are getting paid because they're part of the Summer 500 program, but a lot of them aren't, you know, and I'm always so proud of them. And if we can keep those kids in our doors, but we need your help. If you have a talent, or even if you don't, you know, if you want to come and read with the kids, that's one of the biggest things was, you know, our homework power hours from 3:30 to 4:30, I think that's what it is. Sometimes it changes. That's the most vital thing, is to help these kids with reading. You know, we have people who come in and we try and pull the kids who are having the most difficulty reading. It's just to sit one-on-one with you. It's really, really important that they're reading. We have, Molly comes in, we have other artists come in, we have knitting classes, sewing classes. I mean, if there's something that you want to teach your kids, I would be happy to help you set that up. And it doesn't have to be a long-term commitment. You can do it once a month. But again, if you don't have the time to dedicate to volunteering, don't feel guilty about that. There are other things that you can do. Honest to God, $10 a month or whatever you can do to really help these kids. The longer we have them with us, you know, the safer it is for us and for them, you know. And I love them. It's my passion. Molly and I have been friends for a while now, and we both are very dedicated to these children. We know these children, we love them, and they're pretty much our lives, right? So, pretty much, literally. So, for the Boys and Girls Club, it's bgcsavannah.org. You can always get in touch with me. Gretchen knows how to get in touch with me. You can Facebook me. I'd be happy to give you any information. We have various fundraisers coming up through the year as well. Nothing right now that, you know, we have possibly have a dance coming up, but I don't want to get this information out on it, so I'll make sure that, yeah, I don't want to commit myself. So, you know, I'll make sure you pass that information along. So, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'd be happy to give more information. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you. I think that's going to do it for
We
this.
have cookies in the back.
There's cookies, Treasure Day, some cookies, forms.